Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's STORMYBMAN, and I am live and on the move. Shout out to my brother, Junior the Truth. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you all. As I come on out this morning on my morning commute, thought I'd do a quick live. I won't be long, but I have something to say about some news that was bestowed upon me early, and I just find it disgusting because when you're in tune to the universe, you can kind of see things as they are being revealed. I want to say salute to everybody that's coming in early. I see Stephen L., my brother out there. We got Del Riv. Oh, it's jumping on me pretty quick. Welcome down. Van Houder's out there. Is that Welcome Down Ram? Are you the same person? We got EJ in the building. What's happening? Salute to you guys. Smash the like button as you come into the building. Gonna give a quick live this morning with some feedback on some news I was given about the proposed fight that was coming up between Moses ITAUMA and Jermaine Franklin. I want to say salute and appreciative shout out to the brother Stephen L., who was able to pass on some information to me that the fight has been delayed until March. According to Ring Magazine, reporting that ITAUMA has suffered some type of an injury. Interesting, because this guy is the new god of heavyweight boxing, according to the UK people, Queensberry Promotions in particular, and any of the boxing scribes, commentators, supporters out of the UK looking for a new superstar in the sport. And I find it interesting that he's never been injured before going into the fights against the corpses that he's been facing up until this point. Now, Jermaine Franklin is definitely a live wire in this fight. And when I say wire, what I mean by that, and the analogy that I'm making is, Franklin is a bit of a fighter that you just don't know what's going to come. He has enough experience, having been in there with world-class fighters himself, and he should be ranked in the lower portions of the heavyweight division. And ITAUMA, some of these ratings and ranking bodies have placed him like inside the top 10, but he hasn't really done anything but defeated a washed up Dillian White. Now, if they could say Deontay Wilder is washed up, what the hell is Dillian White, huh? Can anyone answer that for me? Because I'm having trouble trying to do the math on that. Dillian White is washed up. And ITAUMA showed you that, because he treated him like a dirty rag that you throw on into the laundry, huh? And put some Clorox and Tide in there and put it on the heavy duty cycle, huh? That's what he did to him. But Jermaine Franklin, whom I've stated since the fight was announced that they would be facing one another, Franklin is a bit of he's an enigma, an oddity, because you just don't know what you're going to get. If that young man happens to come in motivated, as I had stated I needed to see him do, if he come in having dropped a little bit of that excess weight that he carries around, if he comes in understanding what the stakes are, that this fight will propel him into at least the upper portions of the top 10, it could be glory for him. Now, if ITAUMA is not exactly what they really think he is, to postpone this fight due to an alleged injury suffered in training, what it could truly mean is, one, he could really be injured. Injuries happen all the time. Fighters get hurt and injured all the time. Two, there wasn't enough of interest, public interest in the fight where they could try to rob you, because they would probably want to try to put it on pay-per-view, even though it was announced as a Queensberry promotion on DAZN under subscription. Or three, maybe Franklin is looking pretty good in his preparation for the fight, and they're looking to pump the brakes on him a little bit, take a little piss out of him, because they don't want him to come in too wired up and riled up and ready to take and seize this opportunity. See, those are the kind of factors that you have to iron out when it comes down to this. Now, note it, I acknowledge there's a possibility that he could truly be injured, huh? It happens. But funny how it hasn't happened up until now, huh? And if he has had bumps and bruises prior to now, they've gone on to face the opposition, right? Dillian White was a real test for him, even though the outcome was no test whatsoever. But if he were going to pull out of a fight or delay or postpone a fight, because Dillian got in shape, remember? Dillian had dropped weight, got down to a weight he hadn't fought at in years, and was talking a good game, and showed the appearance of someone who was going to come and state his claim in the fight. But it didn't work out. The performance wasn't there. He was totally flat and got obliterated in one round. So, looking at this, my personal thought is, I'm thinking it's more of what I said about Franklin. The possibility that he might be looking highly motivated, and he may be impressing, and word in boxing camps get around. They have people all over the place, man, who can relay information to camps and everything. And they say, hey, you know, let's take the wind out of his sails a little bit. We can delay the fight. He'll lose a little bit of that momentum. He'll be a little disenchanted. Oh man, I gotta wait another several weeks, you know, and this and that. Yeah. They play games like this in the sport of boxing all the time. If you ever see the film Game of Death by Golden Harvest Studios, was supposedly Bruce Lee's last film that they put out, but it had actually absolutely nothing to do with the storyline of the film that Bruce Lee had intended to make. But Golden Harvest's version of Game of Death involved martial arts film star Billy Lowe, who was being pursued by the mafia to sign a contract with them. And the mafia had several different people within their order. They had a basketball star that was supposed to be the character that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was playing. They had a marksman who could pick people off with guns, you know. They had a karate man played by Bob Wall. You remember Bob Wall? Bruce Lee faced in Enter the Dragon and Way of the Dragon. Caucasian guy with the mustache and beard. He played Carl Miller, a karate expert. Now, I'm mentioning that particular character, Bob Wall, in association with what I'm talking about this proposed fight between ITAUMA and Franklin. In the film, Carl Miller has a karate championship fight coming up. He's the international karate champion at heavyweight, and he's fighting a Chinese challenger played by Sammo Hung. And Sammo Hung's character is called Lo Chin. I know these names and everything because I'm a kung fu dude. You know, I watch these movies, right? But bear with me because it's going to make sense. In the film, there's a small moment where they're going over the proceeds of money they're bringing in off of people that they're skimming profits from. Actors, athletes, and stars and singers and so forth. So when they talk about Carl Miller's upcoming championship fight, they mention that the odds are a little too heavy for Carl Miller. So they suggest that let's put it out to the press that Carl is having trouble with a little injury and that he may be a little hobbled going into the fight. And Dr. Land, the head of the mafia, says, yeah, it's best to even up those odds a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So in that instance, they revealed that this stuff happens when the mafia is involved, when the people behind the scenes are pulling the strings and calling the shots. So understand that I didn't just present this and speak on it as just blowing smoke into the atmosphere. It happens all the time. You get an injury report in the NFL and in the NBA. You see, they let you know who might be playing, who is, you know, a game time decision and all of that kind of foolishness. That's for the odds, people. That's on the odds. And so that when you're betting in professional sports, they can really control the winning aspect of things by, you know, loading the books one way or another. It happens. These are the kind of things you need to pay attention to when you start getting these reports. Now the fight is what, a couple of weeks away? That's what it was supposed to be, the 24th or something like that? A week from this coming Saturday. So now we gotta wait till March. Isn't that something? Think about it, people. And when I say these things, I say them just to assist you with understanding how this all works, but at the same time, that you keep an open mind about what you're experiencing, you know? So, listen, man, I'm not sold on Moses ITAUMA. I truly am not. It's very interesting how they're talking about he's the future and he should be fighting Usyk and everything. How should he be fighting Usyk? The guy has never even been past 8 rounds. He hasn't been in a fight that could take him the distance. Even Mike Tyson, before facing world titleist Trevor Berbick, was put in a fight or two where he went at least 10 rounds. This guy could fall to pieces if he's going beyond 4 rounds because he's been knocking people out. And just because you're knocking people out doesn't indicate that you're going to knock out the top fighters, because the top fighters have experience. They know what to do to stretch things out. They know what to do to put you in a position of questionable circumstances, how you don't know how to figure something. Experience is the best teacher. And Queensberry, what they were trying to do initially, because ITAUMA is so young at heavyweight, They were originally going for Mike Tyson's record of trying to make it to the world championship before he turned 21 years old. Well, he's 21 now, I think. And so they had to backpedal off of that, but he still didn't get the opportunity. And they were hoping that Alexander Usyk would pull a fast one like he has done in the past and like some others have done by being undisputed but giving up at least one or two of the belts because he doesn't want to, one, pay sanctioning fees, two, face certain mandatories, or even three, be issued offers of bouts that aren't of his interest or whatever. So that's the thing. That's the thing that we have to say, you know, and you got to pay attention to that. Now, Stephen L. is asking me, how do I feel about the proposed bout between Prince Charles Martin and Efe Ajagba being offered up as a main event for the upcoming Zuffa card. Now, let me ask this before I go into that. Is the Zuffa fight card, is that going to be something that we got to pay pay-per-view for, you guys? Because I don't know. And I haven't been really following what's happening with Zuffa. I've heard about it. I've heard that they've got something coming soon, but I don't know how it's going to pan out. Is it going to be on Turkey's slate of promoted bouts? Because I know there's a partnership with he and this guy from the MMA, what's his name, Dana White. I don't know if Zuffa's going to be pay-per-view or not. But to go into the matchup, it's not a favorable matchup for Martin. Martin has been tremendously inactive. Efe hasn't been taking the world by storm himself, but he's been more active against great opposition than Martin has. I don't think Martin has fought since he faced Jared Big Baby Anderson, right? So that was several years ago, way before Anderson faced Martin Bakole. So if you think about it, I don't think much of that fight. I know that when Efe Ajagba fought Martin Bakole, that was a tough fight, but he should have got the decision. For whatever reason, they were trying to keep Martin afloat. Martin Bakole. They were trying to keep him afloat because they knew they had that Riyadh season card coming. And guess what? He ended up being a late replacement for Daniel Dubois for Joseph Parker to feast on. Now think about that in hindsight, you guys, which is always 2020, right? Sometimes 2020, I should say. The mere fact that Joseph Parker was able to take the O away from Bakole, and Bakole was this so-called boogeyman, with the rumors of gym sparring sessions where he was knocking and stopping everybody in the gym, but needed to go back and see my man Michael, what's his name, who took his O. You know, listen, Bakole is a bum. Okay, I'll say it if nobody else would want to say it. He's a bum. Why don't they put ITAUMA in against him? He's supposed to be so legendary and the heir to the throne and all of this. And Bakole is what I said he is. Why don't they put Moses ITAUMA in against him? You see, that's because ITAUMA ain't what he's supposed to be, and Bacoli ain't who he's supposed to be. It's as simple as that, you guys. It's as simple as that. Think about all the guys who could have fought Bacoli. AJ, Fury, Joe Joyce, all these guys. Nobody faced him. But they kept spreading the rumors of him in the sport, right? Talking about him being such a formidable guy and a threat to the division and so forth and so on. Bull crap! Huh? One punch on the top of the head by Joseph Parker, who's not a puncher, by the way. Huh? Not a puncher. And he's rolling around on the canvas like a beach ball. What's really going on in boxing? Huh? Yeah. So, at the end of the day, Efe Ajagba should eat Prince Charles Martin for lunch and have him out of there inside of 6 or 7 rounds. And I say 6 or 7 rounds because they'll take a filling out process and everything, but Ajagba has a big right hand. And the right hand is the enemy of a southpaw, which Prince Charles Martin is. He fights with his chin high in the air. He's been inactive and distracted, and he may be a company guy coming in to lay down to make Ajagba look good, because they probably have a fight coming up in the future that they want to put Ajagba in as an opponent to someone else. See, when you look at boxing through clear lenses and not the rose-colored ones, you will see the play and how they try to set things up for you. Huh? Yeah. Antonio MMA, what's good with you? Where you been, brother? Good to see you out there. Yeah. Stillwater Boxing and MMA. Salute. Good morning. Yeah. So, when I talk about these things, notice that I'm giving a full layout of the possibilities. No certainties, because there aren't any certainties in the sport outside of somebody is going to be conned. Huh? And it ain't going to be me. I've watched enough boxing to know that, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I'm the damn fool. Huh? Yeah. So, but that's what I think about that, Stephen L. I expect Ajagba to look good, and I expect Martin to not. And Martin, don't ever forget this. He sold his title to Matchroom and AJ years ago, being a company man, allowing himself to go over there to the UK, get battered and beat upon by some Nigerian fighters in sparring just days before the fight with AJ, and they busted his ribs up and everything. He told this story himself, and he gave the title up sitting on his ass, not being counted out by devastation, not being battered against the ropes or anything like that, but he just gave it up. So Martin is a company man. See, that's my new term for guys like that who are just there to cooperate, Company men, they cooperate. They come in and say, is that what you need me to do, boss? You want me to lay right there for you, sir? Yeah, that's them guys. That's what they do. And they can get mad all they want to, but all they gotta do is do the opposite. All they gotta do is show some nuts and guts. And I ain't talking about show nuts and guts because they're professional fighters and they get in the ring to risk their lives. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, when's the last time you seen guys show that they truly want to win, When's the last time you've seen that? You're not seeing that. Not a lot. We saw it this past weekend when Dalton Smith got in there with Sabril Matias. Huh? Sabriel. Rakete. Yeah. Huh? He got in there. They didn't think he could fight. I talked about the man could punch better than what they were giving him credit for. And where did Matias end up? On the canvas, huh? I love it, man. I love it, huh? Check out my premiere this morning. Yeah, 8 a.m. Central. Yeah, man. So, such is boxing, huh? These guys, man, you can't make this stuff up. I keep saying it. Other people say it too. And they got these chicks. I'm driving past the ABC Channel 7 building here in the Chi, and it's like they got the windows all opened up for the news studios where you could see the anchor sitting behind the desk. Two ladies this morning. They must not be on the air right now because they messing with their hair and all this. I'm like, they just got y'all sitting up there like dolls giving scripted news, huh? This shit ain't real. It's TV. Many people need to figure that shit out. Just like what I'm talking about this sport of boxing. Y'all need to figure this shit out. There are angles to this matrix, huh? That's why they call Lomachenko the Matrix, because of the angles that he gave, huh? Till Devin closed the network down on his ass like Neo. I know jujitsu. Fucking Loma. Where you at? You still crying? You know? Yeah. Antonio says, I've been locked up, Sensei, looking to go pro at the end of the year. I've been an ear to the boxing streets, though. I said locked up because, that sounds funnier. You've been locked up, huh, bro? Well, I hope they gave you plenty of bread and water, huh? And some of that meat that 78 say ain't real meat. When you go up in there, see, I don't know about that stuff, guy. I try to stay away from that place. They still trying to get you every day. They got a plan for you. You got to be careful out here. But no, that's good, man. You getting ready to go pro? That's what's up. Now, you're going pro as what? A boxer, MMA? What are you going pro for, Antonio? What are you going pro for? Yeah, he says, I'm locked in, Sensei. Don't be saying that locked up stuff. Don't pin that on me. Nah, I'm just being funny, bro. I'm just being a little funny with that. Yeah. But we have to support our brother, Antonio MMA. He's been listening to a lot of my content and taking into consideration some of my points that I offer up for fighters. And I guarantee, as long as he's able to remain focused and executing things of that nature, he'll be just fine. Stormy will never mislead you, man, or put you down the wrong path when it comes to that. Absolutely not. Yeah. So, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. He says, you're going to be pro MMA. That's what's up. That's what's up. Make sure you're able to connect your physical with your mental by being equally as efficient with your thought process and your execution. There must be balance. If you're overloaded too much on either side, it could be a point of attack for the opponents in your future. Yeah. Said, Sensei, have you seen Clarissa Shields? She looks physically bad. And out of shape ahead of this rematch with Franchon Cruz. Yeah, listen, man. There are some things that I'll put it to you guys like this. I supported Clarissa Shields on my channel tremendously, and there are some aspects of what's going on with her that I really can't say that I support, but I won't say anything publicly about that because I recognize what true support means. And there's something about when they say, the old adage that old folks used to teach, if you can't say something good, don't say nothing at all. Yeah. You see, that's important. But yeah, I've seen how Clarissa is looking. I've seen how she's been moving. I've seen how she's been speaking. And the reckoning is all a part of the process as well. The reckoning. Remember those words. The reckoning. Yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah. That's very unfortunate because she was one of the few that was absolved of industry circumstances. And now it's totally different. And along with that comes other things. And I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to be That's all I can say. That's all I can say. And I guess that's all I will say. Yeah, Columbia, salute. Yeah, it is concerning. But you know what? People got to live their lives and they got to walk their paths. Huh? They do. The most I could say to you all is you still got the likes of Caroline Dubois. You still got the likes of Shernika Johnson out there. Michaela Mayer is still making her name and fame. There are plenty of others to definitely keep in your mind. Why do you think I talk about these fighters like I do? It's like you don't focus in on one, huh? Because it's an international, global sport, man. And there's someone right now that you ain't never even heard of that's ready to seize the opportunity and step forward. And that's both in the men's division as well as the women's division of boxing. Just know that. Black Martial Arts Society, what's good with you? Good morning. So, but yeah, you guys, I have arrived at my destination, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started on my day. But salute and thanks again to Stephen L., who dropped some information on me this morning. And you guys keep your eyes peeled for what I'm saying about that fight between Franklin and ITAUMA. Yeah. because it's going to be very interesting when the bout does take place, if it takes place, because being pushed ahead to March, that's 2 months, February, March. Yeah, we just don't know. And Atuma's young. Notice how they've slowed him down. He was fighting how many times a year? And now all of a sudden he's injured. Oh, it's off now, huh? Okay, well, that, Stephen L. in chat, presents an entire different situation. I'm going to tell you what I said earlier and figure this out. And I'll give this to you guys to meditate on for the rest of the day. One of the sanctioning bodies may be about to strip Alexander Usyk because he's been talking about he wants to fight Wilder. And they don't want Wilder to have an opportunity to become a unified champion. They never did. That's why they never made fights with him for other titles. When AJ held them all, and AJ got stopped, and what's his name, Ruiz, they talked about making an immediate rematch with him. They never wanted Wilder to have an opportunity at more than one title, and they're trying to freeze him out. Remember my words. Usyk should be able to call his own show, just like Canelo did for so long, right? Kamara, the stepping razor, what's good? Yeah, so the fact that Usyk should be able to do that, and he said he wanted to fight the fighters of his contemporaries, right? That would be Fury, AJ, Dubois, because he had a title at one point, and then now Wilder. So when you think about it, all of this, it'll make sense to you. That'll be a way for them to get a title shot, a vacant title for ITAUMA, not fighting a real threat. They'll put him in against a lower somebody. He'll get a title without having to fight a real championship caliber fighter. And then they could sit on that and make money with him and everything like they did with AJ. Can you see the play, fellas? Can you see the play? Usyk is probably about to be stripped of one of the titles. The WBO is already in the hands of Truck, Fabio Wardley. Usyk has the other 3 belts, the IBF, WBA, and WBC, and the Ring magazine. So if he wants to face Wilder, probably the only title that'll be on the line truly would be the Ring belt, because you just don't know how the WBA and the WBC are going to act. And WBC never stood behind Wilder. So maybe the IBF will be the one belt that'll be on the line while the other 2 sanctioning bodies pull back. And then ITAUMA can fight for one of those belts. Oh man, isn't this some bull crap, man? Early in the morning, here they go with their bull crap. But let me get on out of here, man. Y'all think on that for a moment, and please continue to leave comments on this video as it processes, because I need you guys to keep that conversation going about what I just said. Think about it. That fight is off because he's not injured. They're manipulating things in the background. Frank Warren is a very smart, shrewd businessman. He learned a lot dealing with Don King over the years and everything. And he has all of the heavyweights in his stable, including Tyson Fury. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I wish I could be on a little bit longer to talk about it a little bit more, but I gotta go, you guys. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. And we gonna